Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Bayside City Council's 2021 Remembrance Day service here at Greenpoint. My name is Neil Smith, your MC for today's service. As we slowly transition to new COVID normal settings, this year's service is again online to ensure members of the public remain safe. However, we are able to bring you a video recording of the 2021 Remembrance Day service to ensure that the tradition of commemorating Armistice Day continues through the pandemic to honour those brave Australians that fought and lost their lives for the freedoms that all Australians enjoy. To commence proceedings, I now invite veteran Bayside Councillor Alex Del Porto to read the Acknowledgement of Country.
Bayside City Council proudly acknowledges the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners and custodians of this land, and we pay our respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, as well as any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander community members with us today. Council acknowledges the Boonwurrung's continuing relationship to the land and waterways, and respects that their connection and spiritual identity is maintained through ancient ceremonies, songlines, dance, art and living culture. Council pays tribute to the invaluable contributions of the Boonwurrung and other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island elders who have guided and continue to guide the work we do.
Thank you, Councillor Del Porto. I will now read the Ode, taken from the third and fourth stanzas of Lawrence Binion's 1914 poem, A Tribute to All War Casualties. At the conclusion of the ode, please repeat the final line, "We will remember them with me." Immediately following the ode, the last post will be played, followed by 1 minute of silence with flags at half-mast. Then you will hear the second and final bugle call, the rouse. Please stand if you're comfortable to do so. They went with songs to the battle, they were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them, lest we forget. I now welcome our guest speaker, the Chief Executive Officer of Bayside City Council, Mr Mick Cummins.
Thank you, Colonel Smith. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Bayside City Council, I thank you for joining us today online to commemorate Remembrance Day. It is important that all Australians, and in particular the Bayside community, continues to mark this significant day in the history of Australia during these difficult times. But of course, our issues today are nothing compared to the sacrifices made by those Australians who fought and lost their lives for the freedom of our country. It is important that all Australians, and in particular the Bayside community, continues to mark this significant day in the history of Australia during these difficult times. But of course, our issues today are nothing compared to the sacrifices made by those Australians who fought and lost their lives for the freedom that we enjoy today. Remembrance Day has always been an important day right across Australia to reflect on and honour the service to our country in times of conflict. 103 years ago, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the 4 long years of World War I were finally over. That day in 1918 marked the end of a conflict that had thrown the world into turmoil and claimed the lives of many thousands of young Australians. On the same day every year since then, we honour those who serve and those who gave their lives for their country in war. It is well documented that Australia lost more than 60,000 soldiers in World War I, some as young as 14 in fact, and more than 156,000 were injured or taken prisoner. The loss, devastation and tragedy of the First World War remains with us still 103 years after it came to an end. The men whose names and legacy we remember today endured the darkest of years. We honour their bravery and courage to defend the privileges and freedoms we have enjoyed since the guns of World War I were silenced. We gather here today to remember and honour the sacrifice of our servicemen and women. They were willing to believe in something greater than themselves. It is this willingness and bravery, as much as their action, which gives them hero status in our society today. We are indeed thankful for those first Anzacs, whose actions established the traditions as a nation we hold so dear. We also acknowledge and thank our fellow Australians who served in many wars, conflicts and peace operations since the Great War. World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, Iraq and Afghanistan, to name a few. As we stand here today in front of this cenotaph, we pay our respects to all of the fallen, all of the wounded, and all who served in past conflicts. Today, as we should every day, we remember those who volunteered, sacrificed, served, fought and died for our freedom. We thank you and we salute those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We will remember you, lest we forget.
My thanks to Mick Cummins for his words today, which help put the importance of our service into greater perspective. I now invite Bayside Councillor Alex Del Porto to come back and to lay a wreath on behalf of all the citizens of Bayside. Join me now, please, in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Once again, it is my pleasure to invite Tim Wilson MP, the federal member for Goldstein, to recite John McCrae's poem In Flanders Fields.
Thank you, Neil. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawns or sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break the faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you, Tim Wilson, for that moving rendition. Before we close our 2021 Bayside Remembrance Day service, I would like to thank a few of our main participants in the service today. Firstly, Councillor Alex Del Porto from Bayside City Council. Mick Cummins, the Chief Executive Officer of Bayside City Council. And once again, Tim Wilson MP, the Federal Member for Goldstein. In closing, I wish to thank everyone for viewing this service online today. I'm sure we will all return here to Greenpoint for a bigger and better 2022 Bayside Remembrance Service. So from me, Neil Smith, I bid you good day and please do stay safe.